Hello guys, in this video we're going to talk about the rectangular coordinate system quiz. So in the first questions, they're asking about you to calculate the distance together with the slope. So first of all, you need to remind yourself what is the distance formula. The distance is going to be equal to the d is equal to the change of x squared plus change of y squared, and then take the square root. So that change of x means it's x2 minus x1. Some of you forgot to write as the plus. And then we take the square, and then we plus the y2 minus y1 squared, and after that we take a square root. Okay, so that's the distance formula. And then for the slope is going to be equal to, the m is equal to the change of y divided by the change of x. So the change of y means it's y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So be careful, the x2, y2 means it's from the same point, and then for this x1, y1 is from another point. So for example, if we have a point 2, 3 together with a 4, 5, then our slope is going to be equal to 5 minus 3 divided by 4 minus 2. So let's see, this 4, 5 is actually here, isn't it? So the x2 and y2 is here. And then for this 3 and 2 is coming from the right. So there is the 3, 2. And please bear in mind, still the negative sign in the middle is not a plus. Now we get the formulas of distance together with the slope. So we can try to do the questions here. So first of all, we have the AB is going to be equal to the change of x squared plus the change of y squared, and then we take the square root. So the change of x means we consider about the x coordinates, and we find the difference between them. Then that's going to be 3 minus 0 squared, and then we plus, this is going to be 7 minus 11, isn't it? So it's going to be plus the 7 minus 11 squared, and we take the square root. So that 3 minus 0 giving you 3, so 3 squared, plus 7 minus 4 giving you negative 4 squared. And then we take the square root. So be careful, this negative 4 squared, it means negative 4 times negative 4 will give you positive 16. So do not use the calculator to write something like this. So this one give you negative 16. So now we use the calculator, it's going to be equal to the square root of 25, so that we have the distance between A and B is equal to 5. Then now we can calculate the slope. So the slope is just equal to the change of y divided by the change of x. So for the first point, it's going to be 11 and 7, so we use the 11 to minus the 7, and then we divide it by using the 0 minus the 3. So we have 11 minus 7 divided by 0 minus 3. So using a calculator, you can get this as equal to 4 over negative 3. So that's the final answer. Alright, so for CD, it's going to be equal to the change of x. So it's going to be 4 minus 2 squared, and then we plus the change of y squared. So negative 2 minus 6. So we have negative 2 minus 6 squared, and we take the square root. So this is going to be, so 4 minus a negative, giving you a positive. So 4 plus 2 will be equal to 6. So that's going to be 6 squared plus negative 2 minus 6. So it's still a negative number. If you're not sure, just use a calculator to make you confirm. So the negative 2 minus 6 gives you negative 8. So that's going to be negative 8 squared. And don't forget to take the head, which is the square root. So use your calculator, and you can get this is going to be equal to 10. And the slope of CD is equal to the change of y divided by change of x. So the change of y is going to be 6 minus the negative 2. 6 minus negative 2, and then we divide it by, this is going to be negative 2 minus 4. Negative 2 minus 4. So bear in mind, for the front two numbers, 6, negative 2 is from here, 6 and negative 2. And for this is y1, x1, negative 2 and 4 is from here, negative 2 and 4. The y1 and x1. So they always come in pairs. Okay, so that's going to be equal to 6 minus the negative numbers give you a plus. So 6 plus 2 giving you 8 divided by negative 6. So that's going to be equal to 4 divided by negative 3. So similarly, you can do the EF and HK by yourself. And then for the EF, the distance is going to be equal to 13. And then for the M, is equal to 12 over negative 5. So try to do it by yourself, and then I'll give you the answer here. Just you can check the answers by yourself. If you have any question, then just ask me. And so for HK, it's going to be equal to the square root of 136. And if using your calculator, you can get three significant figures. It's going to be equal to 11.7. And then for the slope, it's going to be equal to the negative 3 over 5. So check your answers by yourself and then let me know if you get it wrong. Okay, so turn to the next page. As we have, the L1 is perpendicular to L2, which means that the slope of L2 is going to be the negative reciprocal. So the negative reciprocal of L1. So for example, the negative reciprocal means you just swap upside down from the numerator and denominator. So now we have this is going to be 2 over 7. And then we're going to adding a negative. So it's going to be negative 2 over 7. As we know that if L1 is perpendicular to L2, then this two slope times together is going to be giving a negative 1, isn't it? So we can double check it. So 7 over 2 times the negative 2 over 7. So the 2 and 2 is gone. The 7 and 7 is gone. So we have just equal to negative 1. So it's actually correct. And so for this one, it's still doing a similar thing. So we swap upside down of the numerator and the denominator. So we have this is equal to 5 over 6. But originally, we already have a negative. So the negative of the negative is just equal to positive. So we don't need to write any sign here. And then we check for the answers. This is cancel out for the 6 and cancel out for the 5. So it's still equal to negative 1. So for this kind of the whole numbers, you need to change the 10 to become a fraction first. So 10 is actually writing as 10 divided by 1. So first of all, we swap upside down for the numerator and denominator. So we have this is equal to 1 over 10. And then we're adding a negative. So that's the meaning of a negative reciprocal, isn't it? So we try to using 10 times negative 1 over 10. It's still giving you negative 1. So similarly for the negative 3, we have this is equal to negative 3 over 1. And then we swap upside down to have the negative 1 over 3. But bear in mind, originally there's a negative already. So we have a negative of a negative. It's going to be giving you a positive. So it's positive 1 over 3. And then we times them together, negative 3 times 1 over 3 is still giving you negative 1. Okay, so when doing the quiz, if you see this is not negative 1, means you definitely do something wrong here. So make sure you can check your answers by yourself. Okay, so for the next questions, if we have something is collinear, if you want to check these 3 points is collinear or not, we need to say that if the slope of AB is equal to the slope of AC, is also equal to the slope of BC, then we can say ABC is collinear. Okay, so now we can check about the slope of AB. So slope of AB is going to be the change of y. So it's 8 minus negative 4, 8 minus negative 4, and then we divide it by the change of x. So negative 7 minus the 9, negative 7 minus 9, and then 8 minus a negative number, we're giving you a plus. So that's going to be 12 divided by negative 16. And using a calculator to simplify this, this is going to be equal to negative 3 over 4. So now we can also check for the slope of AC. AC is here. So you can check about the change of y, which is 8 minus 3 divided by the change of x, negative 7 minus 7. So if you're not sure about the calculation between the negative numbers, just use a calculator to help you make sure. So negative 7 minus 7 is not equal to 0. It's actually equal to negative 14. So we have this is equal to 14 over negative 14. So it's not equal to negative 3 over 4. So some of you guys just calculate the slope and then you say they're not collinear. But for this question, I'll only give you 2 marks because it didn't explain what is the relationship between them. You need to say one more thing, because NAB, the slope of AB, is not equal to the slope of AC, so that ABC are not collinear. So you must to give me this reason, then we can get this conclusion. Okay? So you must to write something to explain your answer. Okay? So now for question 7, we have the slope that the straight line passing through these 2 points is going to be 4. So we can try to sketch the curve. So we have 2 points. This is A, this is B, and then we have the slope is equal to 4, isn't it? So when we have 2 points, the slope can be calculating by using the change of y divided by the change of x. So the change of y means you're using the 3 to minus -5. So we can write it down. So the slope is going to be equal to 3 minus -5, and then we divide by the change of x, so which is h minus 1. H minus 1. And then as we know that the slope is actually equal to 4, so we can just set this is equal to the slope, but the slope is also equal to 4, so we can say the left hand side is going to be equal to 4. And now, as we don't want this h minus 1, so we throw it to the right hand side before this is the fraction line, means divide, isn't it? Originally it's divide on the left hand side. I don't want to be divide, so I move it to the right hand side, becomes times, so that we can say this is equal to 8 equal to 4 times the whole thing h minus 1. The reason why I'm adding a bracket means using the 4 to times the whole thing of this h minus 1. And when we have a bracket, what we're going to do is to expand the bracket, so we can have 8 equal to 4h minus 4. And as we want to make the h to be the final answer, the -4 is something that I don't want. I move it to the left, becomes plus, so it's 8 plus 4 equal to 4h. So we can say that the 4h is going to be equal to 12. And the 4h in between, they have a times. I don't want to times 4. I move it to the right, it's become divide. So that the h is going to be equal to 12 divided by 4, just equal to 3. So the answer is going to be h equal to 3. So for the next questions, some of you just give me the answer, but you still need to give me some of the reasons, okay? So first of all, we have a line L is parallel to these 2 points. As again, you can draw the curve. So we have this point is going to be A, this is B, and we have another line L, which is parallel with AB. So which means when, do you still remember our theory? If L is parallel to AB, so that we can say the slope of L is going to be equal to the slope of AB. So now we can just calculate for the slope of MB, which is going to be equal to the change of y. The change of y is going to be 7 minus 6. So we're using 7 minus 6 divided by the 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2. So this is going to be equal to 1 over 3. So now we get this 1 over 3, which means that is the same as the slope of M, the slope of L. So now we can say that, so that the ML is also equal to 1 over 3. So that's the full logic about this question. So for the next questions, we're going to talk about perpendicular. So as again, we have this point, this line is passing through A and B. And then we have another perpendicular lines. This perpendicular lines will say it as L. So now if we can find out what is the slope of AB, then we can using the slope of AB times the slope of L. It's going to be equal to -1 because they're perpendicular to calculate out what is the slope of L. So first of all, we can calculate the MAB is equal to the change of y, which is 6 minus 1 divided by the 3 minus 2. So 6 minus 1 divided by 3 minus 2. This is going to be equal to 5 over 1, which is just equal to 5. And I need to say that because we have the AB is parallel to L, so that's the slope of AB times the slope of L is just equal to -1. So that we have, do you still remember when they are perpendicular, the slope of the other one is going to be the negative reciprocal, so it's going to be equal to 5, can be read as 5 divided by 1, isn't it? So I swap upside down of them, so now we have the -1 over 5 is going to be equal to the slope of L. Okay, so moving to question 10, we are going to talk about the inclination angle. So inclination angle means when you have a straight line passing through the point, and then if this is L, the inclination angle means the angle in between of the L together with the x-axis. So this is going to be the theta. And then, as we said before, this is going to be the opposite side of the theta. And then the side near to the x theta, the theta is going to be the adjacent side. So by definition, the tangent theta is going to be equal to the opposite divided by the side, the adjacent side. But the opposite is also calculating the change of y. Similarly, for the adjacent side is calculating the change of x. So the opposite side can be read as the change of y divided by change of x. But by definition of the slope is equal to the change of y divided by change of x. So that's going to be equal to n. So now we can say that tangent theta is just equal to m. So we can just calculate what is the slope between a and b. So MAB is going to be equal to the change of y divided by the change of x. So we have 14 minus 6 divided by 10 minus 2. So this is equal to 8 divided by 8, giving you 1. So we can say the m is just equal to 1. So we have the tangent theta is equal to 1. And the theta is going to be equal to the shift, using the calculator to press shift tangent of 1. Then it's going to be giving you 45 degrees. Okay, so that's for question 10. Moving to the last page, it's not that hard, but just think a little bit more. So first of all, the slope of the straight line L1 is negative 2. So you can just draw it. For a negative slope is going to be going down, isn't it? So this is L1, and then we have another L. L2 is perpendicular to L1. Okay, so we draw a second one. So this is going to be L2. It's perpendicular, and it's passed through negative 4 and 7. So maybe it's properly here. So negative 4 and 7. Together with the B point, which is 8K. So it's not in ratio, okay? So first of all, we can say that what is going to be the slope of L2? Because we know that the L1 and L2 are perpendicular, so their slope times together is going to be equal to negative 1. So we can say that the slope of L2 is going to be equal to the negative reciprocal. This is going to be negative 2 over 1. If we reverse them, then we can have this is equal to 1 over 2, because originally it's already negative, so the final answer is going to be positive. Then we can say the straight line is passing through these 2 points, so that we can find out what is the slope. So now we can say we're using the slope by calculating the change of y divided by the change of x. So that's going to be k minus 7, the change of y, divided by the 8 minus 4, which is plus 4, equal to 1 over 2. Then if you have a fraction on the left, fraction on the right, so we can just doing the cross multiplication. So 2 times k minus 1 is equal to 8 plus 4 giving you 12. 12 times 1 just giving you 12. So now we can do is 2k minus 14 equal to 12. So we have 2k equal to 28. So that k just equal to 14. So that's for this questions. And then we can do the next. Oh, sorry, I think I made a mistake. So 12 plus 14 is giving you 26, not 28. So that the k just equal to 13. So after that, the final question, we want to find out what is the slope of L. As we know that this 4 point, the y-intercept, B, A, and the x-intercept is actually on the same straight line, isn't it? So this 4 point is actually collinear. So if you say this point is calling as C, that is going to be the x and 0, because the y coordinates is forever be 0, because it's on the horizontal line. And then we don't know the value of x, so we just keep it as x. And then for the y coordinate, the y-intercept, we have to say this is equal to point D. And they have the same x coordinate, which is 0, because this is on this vertical line, which is y equal to 0. And then now we can say that we don't know what is the value of y, so we can say this is just y. Okay, so now we can say that the ABCD is actually collinear because it's actually on the same line. We can say ABCD are collinear because when they are collinear, so that the slope of L is going to be equal to the slope of AB. So which is going to be the slope of AB going to be the change of y divided by the change of x. So that's going to be 6 minus 4 divided by 2 minus 8. So that's going to be 2 over 0.6, giving you negative 1 over 3. Then how can we find out what is going to be the x-intercept or the y-intercept? Because A and C are collinear, isn't it? So now we can say that the slope of AC is also going to be negative 1 over 3. So we can say the slope AC is equal to negative 1 over 3 as well. So we can calculate what is the slope A over C. So that's going to be the change of y divided by the x change. So that's going to be equal to 4 minus 0 divided by 8 minus x is going to be equal to negative 1 over 3. So now we can say when we have fractions on the left and fraction on the right, we can just do the cross multiplication. So we're using the 4 times the negative 3. We can get this is negative 12. And then what we left is this 8 minus x times the 1. So 1 times 8 minus x, because 1 times anything just come back to themselves. So we can just leave negative 8 minus x, and move the x to the left hand side becomes positive x, and move the negative 12 to the right hand side becomes positive. So it's going to be 8 plus 12, which is equal to 80. So that's for the first one.